Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Monday. It's June 3rd, 2024. Hope you're doing well. Happy birthday, Geminis. I think I said that already, but just in case I didn't, I'm pretty sure I did. Hope you Geminis are enjoying your two-faced selves. No shade. Oh gosh. No shade, no tea, just jokes, okay? Some of my best friends were Geminis. No, seriously, I hope that Gemini is my sister sign, so I really don't have any shade whatsoever. I'm very grateful even for my Gemini placements. Coincidentally, my Mercury is in Sag, so there's quite an affinity for the sign and for the season. And so far, it's turning out to be, at least where I am, it's turning out to be a pretty peaceful season. The weather is starting to level out. It's actually warming up quite a bit, but it's leveling out. And there's that official fragrance of spring in the air that you just can't help but love. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, that fresh new season is always enlivening, to say the least. So anyway, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope your week's off to a powerful start. This is really of no real relevance to you, but I don't know, maybe it is to some degree to the reading. But I'm also quite excited that in the spirit of newness, a quite monumentous event happened in my neighborhood where my street has been like arguably one of the worst streets in all of the city for as long as I've lived here, and from what I understand, much longer even before that. It's historically just been like the bumpiest road ever. It's like every pothole they would just dump some tar into it and plow over it, but never was the streets paving really like addressed, and for a long time I really couldn't understand why the property owners, now I do, because I know the difference between then and the new owners now, as in the last year or so ago, that there's just a different value for the property and the residents between the two companies that is unmatched, and clearly they had the power to make change in the 8 years or so, not quite 8 actually, but something like it, that I've been here and didn't. And as I said, even beyond that, before that this company had the diligence to do in a year span, So anyway, that to say that there is a completely new pavement, new road outside of my complex, and that doesn't seem like a big deal, but like I said, given the time that it's been a mess, literally a pothole pit hole is what it actually was, to the point where you definitely could barely even go residential speed limit without care and consideration, and it still was like a roller coaster ride. But now it's beautiful, it's black, it's leveled, it's all evened out, it's brand new, it's fresh. And if anything, of course, this is quite primitive of a share because it has nothing to do with you actually, but to me it's kind of like an omen to new roads being paved, new opportunities awaiting, new journeys to set out on, new adventures on the horizon, and the way being cleared and made that much more level for you to travel onward to whatever the next and new may be quite seamlessly. you know, with much less resistance and with much less of a stop and start. So take that as you will. I didn't think I was going to share that, but I guess I was. So, wow. 10 of Cups. New roads, new life, new leisure, new love, perhaps, and a fulfillment in every regard. There not being much left to be desired in the 10 of Cups. This is soul family, soul tribe. So you could be connecting with your kinfolk or with the folks that get you energetically, spiritually, the family part of me that you choose or create, you know, which sometimes can be even more special than the one that you were born into, you know, to some degree, maybe not holistically, but sometimes it can be. But yeah, there's just like a fresh sense of happiness here with the 10 of Cups. This is blissfulness. All is bliss. And then we got the Page of Pentacles, which is a seed sown into that good ground, perhaps. Or maybe the seed that cultivated the harvest as it is. Let's see. Yeah, here's the expectation. Wow, 9 of Pentacles. This is perhaps when you sowed on your own, you know, without any support, without foundation, well, without, it's more about support when we're talking about the 10 of Cups, because that's more or less the reflection, like I said, of either actual family or soul family, soul tribe, a community of co-creativity or synergy, like people that are on the same page and alignment, working together. Now that I'm saying it, something that's sticking out to me about communal living to some degree, like where it could even just be, hell, like I was saying, in my neighborhood, the new roads are all the rave for us that have been here for a while. You know, we really never thought we'd see this day coming. And even when the new property managers said that it would happen months ago, it was like, oh, okay, sounds good. Like, kind of, I'll believe it when I see it type of thing. And lo and behold, the day has come, and it was exactly at the timing in May as they said it would be. They started in May a week or two ago, and today they finished the job. So it's like, you know, you sold when you only had your own word, your own energy, your own resources, yourself perhaps to depend on, but you had the expectation that where you were sowing seemingly minimally, it was sowing into a bigger potential reality. So maybe it could even be, as practically speaking, as being single and sowing into yourself, like, you know, self-discovery, what's the right word? Like improvement. Yeah, certainly with the Page of Pentacles to the 9 of Pentacles, this is really like taking extra care and consideration in how you achieve, how you cultivate your personal security and stability, maybe even your self-esteem, which all of that kind of intertwines together, and then having an expectation that it would lead to some overarching promise of sorts, or you know, just some greater potential on the horizon, but not really having a great deal of evidence even for what you were doing at the time you were doing it, for it to lead to such a promise as the Ten of Cups, where you would, you know, you may have sown into yourself in a small way and it magnified itself in dividends. I see this. I just want to see. Here's another Page of Cups. Yeah, there's the work right there. The Eight of Pentacles. Where was your pleasure to put in the work? Whether, again, it be on yourself, on whatever achievements that you aligned with or connected to, whatever became your purpose or your plan in life, what you identified to be self-satisfying and gratifying, particularly for the long run, because this is like long-term, longevity energy with the Eight of Pentacles and the Nine. It's not overnight type of energy or fly by night. This is having a long-term, steady, deeply invested commitment into something. And the only evidence that I can truly see is that something was yourself. And certainly there is no crime in that at all whatsoever, because it's the thing that's like, in all the things that we could invest in, that we suppose will have a great return or reward. Other people, other places, jobs, businesses, bright ideas, you know, relationships, even our own children, which there's evidence for that here as well. Nothing can prove itself to be more valuable than the energy, especially productively speaking, as the Eight of Pentacles. Not, you know, in a self-absorbed, F the rest of the world type of way per se, but meaning to prioritize your well-being, your own personal affluence, energetic affluence, not limited to material at all. Because with the Nine of Pentacles, it actually implies that there was a spiritual investment first, and this is how it materialized. So that's why I'm making a big emphasis on, and here is more of a spiritual result too with the Ten of Cups. It's not the Ten of Pentacles, which means that there is an emotional fulfillment here, like a pleasure, again, a blissfulness that is immeasurable in itself. And you may have taken very calculated measures to cultivate this investment by way of your well-being, but how it has now, or has the potential to multiply and be magnified, is beyond containment, is what I'm sensing. And there's a great deal to look forward to on that return. Six of Pentacles, yeah, that's balance, community impact. And then the Page of Cups and the Three of Cups, yet another investment or message that multiplies into celebration. Yeah, something about growth here is what I'm sensing. Let's see. Now we got the Knight of Swords, that maybe some fast, swift action toward, toward this investment or the materialization of this new beginning or this new expression of bliss as it is. To keep it from, I'm feeling like to keep it from spreading. Yeah, with with the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, to keep that good fortune from expanding, like Jupiter energy does. Like it can't be contained. It could be even just on a personal level, like your good news catching on like wildfire in terms of inspiration for it to impact others or impress some passion unto others to then pursue their fate and their fortune for themselves. Like, the powers that be don't really want to see that happen, but exactly, Seven of Swords, but it's inevitable. It's unstoppable. Yeah, there's new contracts and new agreements that are being forged as I speak right now, even within yourself, to now have an expectation with that Three of Wands to be fulfilled, to be enlivened, to be winning, Queen of Pentacles, okay? All right, so let's see what we got here. To be secure, to be stable, to be highly esteemed. And here is cause for protecting your energy with the Hangman. I honestly, what I feel is like, I don't feel like this is, with all that I said and with this coming out first, I don't feel like anyone that can resonate with that energy is stuck. I feel like this is the projection of resistance that, like I said, to keep your progress contained, maybe even keep you contained from stepping into this favorable expression in real time, because once you do, then it's not only a reality, but it's an actuality that can now become an impression. There's something that materializes in a way, even as it is reflected in the Page of Pentacles. It becomes a seed, a realization of bliss and an actualization of bliss, as it is with the Ten of Cups, and having all of the evidence of the progress, like almost having like a, how can I say this? Like, it's like reaching this moment, but then also having the track of what it took for you to get there. Like I was saying about investing in yourself. Everybody's brand of that process is different, of course. Even as, our happily ever after is different. It's for everyone, it's not a family or a partner and 2 kids, like the nuclear family. Maybe it's more of a business achievement, or more of it could be affluence in a different way. The point is, it can't look the same. It wouldn't look the same, and even the process would be different. But one thing that it will have the quality of is inspiration. And once you've kind of crossed into that ideal expression of or experience of life, and have the reflective results of your progress through the process, you become very valuable. Like you have a leg to stand on in terms of your testimony, because although the way you did it might not necessarily be the blueprint for someone else, it's just the sheer evidence of how it can be done that is more impressionable than anything. So it's like, there will be a great resistance. Like this is like a 6 against 1 type of energy that would want to push back on the actualization of your creativity and your fulfillment of it, to keep you in a stuck place, feeling like there's still much left for you to, almost like as if you haven't already arrived. That's what I'm getting. There may be some realization that you haven't quite connected with in terms of your achievement or your your affluence, even as you stand now, that would be promoting to that ultimate level, before you even get there or actualize it, if that makes sense. But either way, what I was really meant for me to say in this moment is that this Seven of Wands energy, to me, is speaking less about who you really are, or what position you may actually be in, feeling stuck, waiting for enlightenment, waiting for an answer, looking for some new direction, or like wanting to, needing some additional information before you can feel equipped to move forward. It speaks more to me to the projection that is being influenced or imposed, I would say, or that would want to be imposed on where you stand quite strong and confident as you already are. You may not necessarily have all the answers. You may not have realized every achievement that you have on, your list of objectives. You may not have connected with that lifelong partner just yet. You may not have started the family or even connected with the soul group that is out there looking for you as much as you're looking for them. But there's something important about where you are now to realize, to be empowered by, that even obstinate forces wouldn't want you to be esteemed by even now, because that would propel you forward that much more effortlessly into what it is that you're destined to, and then that's when it's completely unstoppable. So I guess this is like a strange crossover type of time where, like I said, it's inevitable, it's irrefutable where, what you're destined to be, do, and have, but it won't stop the resistance from trying as they may to make you feel otherwise, or to provoke you in ways that would be objective to that truth, and maybe even be, in the wrong frequency, could almost be self-sabotaging. I can sense that too. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Wow, Lover's card, exactly. You've already made the necessary choices. Again, when you chose yourself, and not just yourself. Like I said, it's not just like I'm the best, F the rest. I mean, unless that's how you feel, and you may be justified to feel that way. I don't know your life. However, this is more so about choosing to be the most supreme you above every frequency you've been in the past. It's not really so much a comparison, like an external comparison between yourself and anyone or anything else. It's always only taking inventory of self-awareness, self-observation, and maintenance here with the Lovers. That's the way to magnetizing this Ten of Cups energy towards you, where it's the total package of you and something else or someone else or some things or someone's in agreement and in co-creation. But it happens from a personal level first, which we already know. So again, it's just doubling down that you've already made a proper choice here, seeing yourself as high value as you possibly can be, seeing the value of yourself and your worth. No matter what's been projected to you, what's been reflected, what interference there may have been, what pitfalls and roadblocks and potholes you've come across, in your journey, still being committed and devoted to the expression of this supreme energy that sometimes you may not have had evidence for, or may not have even known, like, it's like one thing to aspire to an ideal of supreme, but you may not have, back to that beginning spread, like you may not have known exactly what to do to cultivate that, but somehow the choices that you did make, the investments that you made the difference. Somehow it was worth it. In a small way, in a big way, whatever. I feel like it's more about what your intention and motivation was than it may have even been your actions. Of course, the actions follow for sure, but it wasn't about perfection and doing everything right and making all the right choices and decisions and doing nothing that you wish, in a wiser mind you hadn't done differently. But it was about your intention in the process at the time that ultimately has opened the roadway for you to ascend into that aspired identity and to have access to that desired life. Yeah, no, a lot of it was actually knowing what to walk away from, or what to dismiss, or allow yourself to be dismissed from, whether it was relationships or family or groups of folks and friends that you observed didn't share the same synergy anymore for what you aspire for. Sometimes the hardest part is walking away, especially with no guarantee of what you'll see or have or achieve in the future. This is just like that walk in faith, to know that there has to be some fulfillment elsewhere when you're not receiving it where you are, or you're not being it where you are. So for some, that looked like a move to a place that was unfamiliar to you. That looked like leaving a job. That looked like closing a business. That looked like breaking up in a relationship. That looked like separating from ideas or ideals about life and about yourself that you had held tight to for a long time. That you may even have had evidence to believe as truth, but you weren't afraid to discover something new about yourself, maybe even discover a new gift or a talent or a new expression of creativity that you never really thought was something, sustainable before, something that you could build a foundation on. Yeah, that's the courage here. What's underneath? Yeah, and this is the long-term investment with the Seven of Pentacles, it becoming a material harvest. And as I said, like at first with the Seven of Pentacles, it's not overnight. It's something where you may see a coin here or two, a nugget here or there, but it's not necessarily a windfall, so to speak, that would solidify your sowing to make you feel like, oh, I absolutely need to keep going at what I'm doing. There still is more of there's more of an advantage of faith that goes into like sowing at the Seven of Pentacles, seeing the big picture in the long run, than there is the immediate gratification. And that, again, is a part of your character proven in this process that has opened gateways for you for now long-term prosperity. Now we've already seen the Nine of Pentacles, which is stability and security on a whole nother level. Yeah, it's going from the 7, then the 8, then the 9. Yeah, you kept putting in the work, and eventually you saw the results. And now it's like, that's like almost passive income at the Nine of Pentacles, certainly being in a position where you can make substantial purchases and it's not breaking the bank. Like you have enough in reserve, you have enough coming in, you have enough, to live comfortably, leisurely, and practically, and life is good, and however that gets to be, whether it's materially speaking, which I would say ultimately it must be for us to lead with that pentacle energy. But even if it's energetically speaking, time, even you might find yourself on account of a big decision or change or sacrifice that you made, now having more time to do things that actually do bring you peace and joy. Or maybe you will, maybe this is that call to action. As I said, like your sign, signal, and green light to stand your ground on that thing that you have foresight to be liberating, to be, that road opener for you to this life of bliss. And maybe there's an invitation to walk away from some things that may have been holding you back or just are no longer worth the return in their investments. And, if anything, this is your sign that yes, the road is clear and paved for you to do so at this time. I could be talking to what actions that have been taken or an invitation for what is here and now. So however that fits. What's leading the way is that bliss awaits with the 10 of Cups. Whatever it is, whatever you have done, if you're still waiting to see it materialize or actualize, take heart that it is. And whatever you're feeling called to do, but you may be unsure about, take heart that as you do and when you do, you're on your way to what, to really like the best of what you could hope for, whatever that means to you. What was that? Kind of flipped a little crazy. Oh, the 4 of Wands. I'm gonna take it. Let's put it over here. That's funny. I'm gonna put it over here right in the middle with the Lovers. Yep, balance, harmony, peace in the home, in whatever establishment, whether that be professional, platonic, intimate, you finding your place to this earned balance here. Actually attracting that to you. Opportunities that bring more peace, opportunities that bring higher achievement, that bring more peace into your relationship, that allow you to advance individually and collectively if that's what you're in the market for. Stabilizing your home space, whether it be in an actual practical sense, like literally your dwelling place, or just your sense of security in the world. And this is kind of given like as above, so below. So this is quite actual. You may be about to move. I said that before, but you may be about to move, or you may be making some changes to your home, making home more of a sanctuary space, more sacred living. Maybe starting a home business, working from home. This is definitely Gemini energy with the Lovers, and I think that the 4 of Wands too, but I could be wrong, but definitely with the Lovers. So 'tis the season, for that energy for sure. Yeah. Definitely something major about partnerships here, though. As much as I try not to, like, beat it down, but the Ten of Cups, the Lovers, and the Four of Wands, this is either partnership that is blossoming in this season, fresh and new, or going to some new height or depth of commitment or achievement, as I said. Here's a king. Not at all. Let's put him over here. Here is the Knight of Cups, and actually, as I was shuffling, I was looking at the Seven of Wands, about to reiterate like the protection piece and security, like really just keeping your boundaries secure at this time. Maybe even establishing affirmative boundaries even within your partnership, or so that there's a clear understanding, especially if it's new, between you and your potential partner, or reaffirming healthy boundaries between an existing partnership. But it feels more fresh, definitely feels fresh, or maybe because of the new heights or new experiences, new adventures that are on the horizon, there may be, because the Two of Cups came out about renegotiation or new contracts. There may be a call to reestablish an understanding of intimacy and commitment on a level that you never really had to consider before, because there were certain things that weren't, an issue or a thought, like a business, like maybe a baby, perhaps, like a new home that you're purchasing together, or coming into the desire to now want to make a big purchase, back to that Nine of Pentacles, wanting to make a big purchase collectively as opposed to his and hers. I live over here, you live over there, or I moved into your place, and maybe now as a couple you're wanting to start fresh in some space that is that you both can claim ownership to. That's a whole nother level of understanding that gets to be affirmed and established, and not just glazed over in the name of love. There may be something here, because I'm talking a lot about love and business. Maybe there's something here about really making clear distinctions between that line, those areas, because it could easily go sour if you don't have a clear expectation and establishment of boundaries and things of that sort. Knowing what your breaking points are, what your triggers are, what your deal breakers are, like having a very clear, even down to, let's talk about it. What do you call it? A prenuptial agreement, a prenup. That has been a bit of a taboo, almost a curse word in relationships past. But I think presently, as people are becoming more successful, and even if there's not a materialization of that success, there's certainly a projection of great ambitions where it may be beneficial to establish an understanding of assets separate and shared before a new venture is made. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it, especially if both parties are fairly regarded, well taken care of. Each one is, fairly been able to have the terms well vetted and understands them, and everybody's needs are met, I think it's a wise thing to do. And again, maybe I'm speaking to someone that maybe at this point you don't have a whole lot that you think would need to be protected, but clearly there's a great deal on the horizon that maybe you should consider, whether you have maybe your business is at a page of pentacles right now, but you have the potential for the Nine of Pentacles on your hands, and you certainly have the persistence and the devotion to the work to get you there. So maybe it does matter not only for you to be proactive about protecting your assets, but also to be open if you may be on the receiving end of that offer and that consideration, that it can still be just as much as in your favor as it could be for the one that may propose it, in the long run. So yeah, that's something here too. Interesting. Oh, wait, what's underneath? Page of Swords. Yeah, get more information. Definitely get more information about that. Consider all angles, one way or another. All right, let's see what else. What's over there next to the Knight of Cups? What's that? I'll take it. The Nine of, exactly. The cards are just kind of affirming today, which is fine by me. We'll keep it cute today. Nine of Pentacles, exactly. That's what you're willing to walk away from less to have more for. Each and every time, at any time the invitation presents itself. And it doesn't mean, like, I've said this before and I haven't quite clarified, because it may sound when I say like you're just willing to walk away, cut off, move on. It's like, not without good reason, of course. Even with the Eight of Cups, it's somebody that has invested a lot of themselves before they make the often tough decision to say, okay, now it's time for me to move on. So it's not about like bailing on commitment or abandoning a relationship at the first sign of struggle or conflict or whatever. But it definitely is being honest with yourself, like always revisiting this moment of achievement here at the Nine of Pentacles, considering all the work that you've done to put yourself in a stable position in every way, shape, and form, but particularly of self-esteem. And where there's boundaries set in that regard, you always have a standard, a marker to measure by. So it's like if your self-esteem is dropping below that standard rate, and you can only connect it to certain variables outside of yourself, then that's the first place of consideration to consider disconnection, or to relieve yourself of. But of course, with especially a new relationship or a relationship that is going in a new direction or into new territory, uncharted territory, you kind of give grace for things to find their way to balance accordingly. But I think that's why I'm being particularly thoughtful about setting certain expectations and standards for, and even like maybe even goals or something, I don't know, for a relationship before it takes off, so that you can check back into that standpoint, at that checkpoint, if things were to dip, and go a bit below or seem a bit more challenging than when they started. But of course, I just want to say, I'm not saying that you just abandon ship at the first sign of conflict, but we all know, the difference between a relationship having its challenges in a season and a relationship that challenges your well-being. There's a difference there, and you've done enough work on yourself to know what that difference looks and feels like, even as practically speaking as gauging your material stability. Like, one way that you may be hooked up with some energy that's not the most productive is when your finances are struggling, when you're at a loss of stability or security. That's when you can kind of consider, what's going on here? Why am I not prospering? Why is my money slowing down? Or why am I losing money? Why are my businesses declining? Why am I at a loss for inspiration? Why am I not feeling so motivated or excited to do life, in whatever way, shape, or form you do? This seems to be the high standard here, or at least the aspiration, but there's already a level that you've come of achievement that you've attained, that here with the Lover's energy, of that supreme energy where you know the high standard for yourself, and if there's a conflict in that, then something either needs to shift or be reconsidered within you or regarding your surroundings. Just as simple as that. So, no way around. Ooh, okay. The devil energy, exactly. Where you're feeling limited all of a sudden, or feeling fearful, uneasy, insecure. It's like, where is this trigger coming from? And for some, like I said, it really is, it's probably going to be a challenge to some degree to distinguish what is just the growing pains of a new connection or an evolving connection, and what could be an absolute blaring red flag. But I think you should know with discernment. You should know. But I feel like this could be the season where, given the acceleration of growth that's happening individually and collectively, and if you're doing it in a partnership or in a new partnership, there definitely could be some growing pains to some degree, just for two people to understand each other clearly and really align with, their personal and collective purpose in this lifetime. Because two heads are certainly better than one, but it is still two heads, and you may even be someone that's been kind of used to calling the shots in your life, masculine or feminine. And that's a much easier task to manage when it's just you, like, you don't have to consider somebody else's feelings or their inspirations, their passions, their pitfalls, their weaknesses, or even their strengths. The upside is you do get to consider all of the best of someone, and that does get to roll up into more support, more synergy, to expand your impressions and your reach as a unit, for sure, but certainly with levels needing to be adjusted accordingly for things to kind of work properly. I'm sure if you're in a relationship, then but I also feel like, given I keep making a strong emphasis on this being not just new partnerships, but also partnerships that are elevating, ascending into some, maybe coming into your spiritual purpose together again, where there's a new consideration on the table that wasn't there before. It's different when you go to work and I go to work and we come home and we watch TV and eat dinner and have fun on the weekends, but it's different when two people are diligent and devoted to fulfilling the purpose and promise on their lives from a spiritual perspective. There's a different level of sensitivity there that I feel like is happening whether you're in a partnership or whether you're entering into one. Either way, there is a call for adjustment and grace. Yeah. Oh, yep, but here we go with the Chariot card, victory and success. Still willing to put in the work to achieve, moving forward victoriously. And here is also a new car. So you might be buying a new house and a new car. Whether it could be personally, singly. Here's again those big purchases with the Nine of Pentacles, but it could be a consideration of merging assets. That's what that could represent here with the car and the house and a partnership, a committed partnership, a high level partnership, but even merging assets and merging destinies. Yeah, because the Wheel of Fortune came out. That's what it is. That's what it is at a much grander scheme, like destinies aligning. Because you've had your mission, and it seems like you have become very clear about your mission, and you've been activated to pursue that mission. But then what happens when now you come together with a partner who has their mission, and then you begin to co-create or procreate in a family that is purposeful. And then you one or both submit yourself into an extended spirit family of sorts, of which everyone has their mission and their purpose, and somehow it all, everybody's working towards something. Yeah, and everybody has a plan, and it all has to blend. Yeah, okay, all right, okay, I get it. Just be graceful. You can still maintain your standards, maintain your boundaries, be forward about communicating your expectations, your deal breakers, the lines that you draw, and also being protective about your energy, your ideas, your passion, in a practical sense, in a spiritual sense, in every way in between, and still prioritizing your purposefulness from a personal level, a singular level, even as a part of the whole. It's a lot of moving parts here. So this season, it's going to certainly be very fulfilling, and it's going to be a great deal of work, as in that Eight of Pentacles work, though, where the work is gratifying, but it's still work nonetheless. Still a lot of things to manage. Let's see, what's that? Oh, I like the fact that was in reverse, the Tower in reverse. Yeah, and you know what? The Tower in reverse really speaks to changes that you submit to willingly, not to things that have to happen from the universe to or through you in order to put you on the right track with fate. So this is like even a submission to changes that may need to occur upon notice or upon invitation, that you willingly, right up under the Eight of Cups, that you willingly submit and subscribe to, because it's for your greatest good. So that's good. That's good money right there. Exactly. That's power-driven force right there. Evolved power, mature passion, pure passion as well, where you only want to be in alignment with your supreme self and the purpose that is outlined in that identity. So that means you'll make any changes personally, collectively. You also means that You could be, what's the word, amenable to um to what's the right word, to like compromise as needed, you know. So I love that there, because as I was saying, it doesn't mean that you just run off at the first sign of conflict. It means that you'll be willing to pull up your sleeves and make it make sense where it can, but you also know when it just is time to move on. And there's no harm, no foul in that either. That's a great place to be. That's certainly a way to maintain this level of balance and harmony, even within the partnership, but certainly if there's some energy beyond that, you know, that you are impressionable by or impactful on to, impactful on, or, you know, like a partnership that becomes an enterprise that then is, you know, co-creative with other establishments in some way, shape, or form, or even within the community that it serves. Or, you know, it's like it's not just a single impact here, especially when we're talking about the Wheel of Fortune. It's like even where you thought it was one thing, Jupiter comes in and blows it up bigger than you ever anticipated it to be. Certainly bigger than you could have seen coming, you know. So that could be by way of a relationship that could start off casually and become very serious, or a relationship that started one way and now both of you two are like spiritual warriors together in some way, shape, or form. Or you thought it was casual, or you were, you know, you had your 5-year plan all set, and then things seem to be accelerating to maybe now you are about to have children or get married, or, you know, like things are happening. They're happening at a rapid pace and at a very intense, as is the Ace of Wands, frequency, that you kind of will have to maintain all that you've already assumed for yourself in terms of accomplishment and establishment, even as you're open to how you get to be expanded creatively beyond that. So certainly with that devil energy, being careful not to limit yourself or limit your possibilities and the potential you have for growth. But there's still a way to kind of balance between how far you've come and how much more growth there is in store for you. And I'm kind of going to cut it off here. Okay, we got the 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, like to not be, as I was speaking about being afraid of limitations and lack again. Like this is no longer your reality anymore. I mean, it's actually the lowest energetic card that we've had here. And considering all of that Pentacle energy, the 9 of Pentacles has been out twice. Well, it wasn't all that Pentacle energy, but favorable Pentacle energy to say that you've already come so far not to be consumed by the limitation of lack. That doesn't even need to be a thought in your mind in terms of what motivates you to stay inspired, to stay empowered, to stay ambitious. That's like the Antichrist. This energy here is like, this is not, some people turn to their reflection of lack and scarcity as a motivator. Like, I ain't never gonna be poor again. I ain't never gonna be broke. I'll never, you know, get played in a relationship. I'll never be cheated on. You know, like they turn negatives into a positive in an effort to be transmutable. But in this season, I feel like that's one of the energies or the tactics that can be left behind, because sometimes, even as it gives the implication of it being transmutation, It actually is limitation to be constantly reminding yourself of when you didn't have, unless it's just like, oh, I remember the days, but not as a constant motivator to keep you, to kind of keep you enthusiastic about more and doing more and having more and achieving more. It actually could have much more of an adverse effect, even if it's subconsciously, than it would to be promoting in the way that you would want it to be. If that makes sense, it's like achieving in the way that you have, even now, say you still haven't seen the materialization of your investments or your harvest in a physical form, so to speak. There's still an invitation to leave this impression as far in the distance as you possibly can, because guess what? What you do have working for you, if nothing else, is this supreme inspiration and pure passion right here that ultimately alchemizes anything, any opportunity that you could be privy to before this energy would really motivate you to achieve more. It's like, I understand how this could have been effective and maybe has been even up until now to some degree, but we're moving into a new inflection of power now where you kind of actually have to release all scarcity mentality, esteem. It's like you get to resort to this supreme expression of confidence here in every regard as the ultimate motivator. Basically speaking, this is going to be far more powerful than your reflections could ever be. This is about forward movement, present creativity, innovative achievement. We don't need the past to remind us of where we don't want to be in order for us to get to where we're destined to go. It's already done that to get us to this present place. It's done its job, actually. It's been used up to, capacity at this point in time to get us to the place now where we can actually be open channels and conduits to conduct this frequency of creativity at will. And this is the operative and most productive focus at this time. Proactive creativity. I hope that makes sense. Is there anything else to be said here? I don't think so. I'll just leave it as it is. I'll be back tomorrow with another. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.